And welcome back to Cigar Time, your friendly neighborhood TV show all about premium cigars.
From the hands.
Got it right that time.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Congratulations.
Thank you. What are you going to do? It's the middle of, or the end, almost the end of June. The year's going fast.
It's the middle of the week.
It is the middle of the week. Shut up. So, Paul, what are we smoking today?
We are smoking a collaboration between Cigar City Brewing Company, the beer company down in Tampa,
Right.
and Punch. So the cigar is called Cigar City Brewing by Punch. Mm-hmm. It's a Maduro, not a super dark one, but
Not
it
at
is
all.
officially a Maduro. And it is a double Honduran Puro. And what I mean by double Puro is it's all the tobaccos from Honduras, but it's actually all the same breed of tobacco.
Really?
Which is?
Honduran Habano. The whole cigar. Different primings, of course, and a few different regions within the country, which I'll talk about later. But all of it is Honduran Habano.
Got a sweet aroma, almost like cherry.
Very much so.
Yeah. I've only had one of these. We just got them in. They're very new. They just came in like last week.
Well, you know, if you look in the books, left nostril versus right nostril sniffing yields different results.
Yeah. It smells good.
You want left side of the mouth, right side of the mouth?
I don't think so.
Have you have not had this, have you?
I have not had this.
Moose, have you had the cigar yet?
No, I have not.
Well, we just got them in last week. At the time of taping, we got them in last week. So, beginning of the month, we got them in.
Well, I'm lighting mine now.
You're the last one.
So you don't see a lot of Honduran Puros anymore. There used to be a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, early on, chief among them were the products of Villazon, which is now, I guess you would say, part of General STG, Forged, Alec Bradley, and whatever other name you want to throw at that company.
Right.
Thompson.
Exactly. No,
What?
except for that one.
Which one?
I can't remember.
From Thompson.
So, yeah. So, Honduran Puros. Villazon, most well known for their two anchor brands, Hoyo de Monterrey and Punch. So it's not unusual that this Punch, well, it's unusual today, but historically it wouldn't have been unusual for a Punch to be a Honduran Puro.
There's still a couple of them out there. Like one of my favorite cigars is the Rocky Edition Unica.
That's a Honduran Puro.
That's
And
a
you
Honduran.
don't even like Honduran
I do
tobacco?
not like Honduran tobacco.
A lot of people say that.
I know.
I like it all right.
It's too earthy for me. I mean, I like earth in the cigar, but the tobacco is just too earthy.
Getting earth out of this.
Yes.
There's a sweetness going on too.
A little bit from the Maduro wrapper, yeah.
A little
I would
bit of
imagine.
spice on the center of my tongue.
Yeah, I'm getting a spice.
Make my ear tingle a little.
Make your what? Your ears tingle?
Yeah, from hearing it. From hearing the cigar. Watch. Right?
Oh my God.
A little closer so you can hear it better.
That's the sixth flavor zone from your
Do
palate.
that again. I can see it glowing this side.
You know, there's the front of the palate, the left side, the right side, the middle, the back, and the ear. Those are the tasting zones.
Yeah, just ask Tia. She can.
She knows how to retro
She had a retro through her ear.
Speaking of her,
With her eye.
my wife's is friends with her on Facebook.
Yeah.
She got a new job.
Did she?
Yeah, it's back in the cigar business.
Is she really?
Yeah.
Where?
That I don't know. That we couldn't figure out, but she's back in the business.
See, what she really should do is combine her skills and sell life insurance from the companies that do cigar smoker policies.
Yeah,
So she knows how to interact with cigar smokers better than anybody.
that's true.
So
Yeah.
that way she could.
Yeah,
Well, if you're watching, to you.
yeah.
That's my recommendation
Paul's
for
idea.
today.
Moose, let's get your first impression.
The spice that I'm getting that you guys were talking about, you couldn't quite, cinnamon. That's what I'm
Yeah.
getting, cinnamon.
Yep.
Yes.
So far, tasty. It's not overpowering the flavors. I consider this a pretty medium-bodied cigar, maybe even to the light side.
Like
Maybe
a
you do.
two. Like a two.
Yeah, like a 2.
Okay.
So far, I mean, we'll see how it changes.
I agree with the cinnamon, and it's the hot kind of cinnamon,
Yes.
not
Yeah,
the
yeah.
sweet kind
like
of
the
cinnamon.
like that stuff they put in.
Red Hots
Yeah,
and those the
Yeah.
hats.
Atomic
Yeah.
fireballs.
yeah, that stuff. Yeah.
Dentine gum.
Yeah, like that.
Toothpaste.
I also do find it earthy. And I get a hint. The sweetness, you said it smelled like cherries. I think it tastes like black cherries.
That's the sweetness. Yeah.
Scott.
I'm not getting the cinnamon you guys are getting. I get a little bit of some kind of a, like I said, a spice in the middle of my tongue. The sweetness. And very earthy. It's going to be interesting how this develops.
Yeah.
It seems like it's a lot, produces a lot of smoke. So that's
Yeah.
I also think there's a lot of nicotine in this, just based on the flavor and the way
Yeah,
it feels.
I would. I'd say right now it's at least a 3 on the strength scale for me. It's definitely higher than medium.
Well, you know me. I like my cigars black. And
That's true.
That so.
Black and fat.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
I-
My cigars.
I'm going to leave all the
Yeah,
jokes.
yeah, yeah.
Cigars.
There are, no,
Get out of the gutter and join me on the curb, okay?
no, I can't. I live in the gutter.
I'm a cross reference to the black cherry and the cinnamon. It's a cross. It's because it's Swedish. Swedish. It's
Sweet-ish.
sweet-ish. Not Swedish. Sweet-ish. So it's cinnamon black cherry type of
Yeah.
thing.
I'm
And
definitely getting
be-
the sweetness.
Because of the two combinations of the flavors you're getting, the cinnamon is more of a spicy.
Yeah, I get you. It's very good. Have you ever had the Cigar City beer?
Beer? No, I
Yeah.
haven't.
No.
Have you had it? I've had it too. It's actually really good.
I've had their highlight. I think they make highlight.
Yeah, they
IPA.
do.
I've
never
had
had
that.
the-
That's
I've never
very
had-
good.
I've never
I like
had
that.
I've been to Highlight many
Yeah, me
times.
too.
Highlight's
That's something I would love to do.
oh, dude, Highlight
It
is
just looks
awesome.
cool. I'd
It is
never
very
play
cool.
it. I think I'd
Yeah,
get
you
killed.
get killed. You could.
I would die.
It's one of only.
Literally.
Is there any place left to play that they play highlight?
I don't know if they still play it in
Some in
Florida or
Florida.
not. Some.
Don't
I've been.
they still play in Connecticut?
No.
No.
Nope.
They-
They stopped it
Oh.
because that's where I used to go. I mean, it's
Yeah,
only
me
a
too.
3-hour ride.
I went a few
I've
times.
On
been.
a 3-hour tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's they used to play. I've been to the Fronton in Milford, Connecticut, and the one in Bridgeport, Connecticut.
Is that the court's called a fronton?
Yes. So I used to go. We used to go all the time. Wendy and I used to love going back in the
that
'80s. Stop. So then I've been to the one in Daytona also. They had one, but
I
they're
think
they're
that
not
was
there
like
anymore.
the original was
Yeah.
I
Florida.
think they still have some in Miami, but
I don't know that.
Right next to the dog racing track.
Yeah, very big.
You know,
But,
all the old big sports.
yeah. Highlight's awesome. It's one of only 2 sports that you have to play right-handed. You can't be left-handed and play. I mean, you can be left-handed, but you have to play right-handed.
what's the other one? Cricket.
It is not. The other one is polo.
Really?
Highlight
I
and
thought you were
polo
going to say something else. I've been doing it wrong.
because it's what? It's too dangerous.
Think about it. Who's saying the comment? And think about it.
I don't say
Bowling?
Back to cigars.
Yes.
Now that you mentioned the cinnamon, I got it. Now I can't
Get rid of it.
Now
yeah.
that I can't get rid of it, I can't untaste it. But it's now it's just I
Cinnamon?
got it. Yeah. I think I just had. I think it was there. I just had trouble identifying exactly what it was.
Because they were getting the dark cherry, the dark cherry is sweet,
Mm-hmm.
and so is cinnamon normally. But because there's two kinds of sweetness, the heat of the cinnamon's coming to the forefront.
Yeah. After you said that's when I found it.
Realized it,
Nah, I found it.
identified it.
Nah, I found it.
Okay.
It was lost
The
in how it's
draw
found.
on this is very good.
Mm-hmm.
The construction seems good, although there are a few soft spots.
No,
not the
many,
whole
not
cigar,
many.
just spots.
Yeah.
Not for me.
It's very rough looking. Also, the
Yeah.
wrapper is rough.
Actually, I'm not getting any soft at all. I mean, even up close to the ash, it's still pretty solid. I don't squeeze it that hard.
Well, if I don't squeeze it at all, it won't be soft.
There, you solved your
Well, there
problem.
you go.
If you don't do testing, there's no COVID.
Exactly.
Exactly. You don't go to the doctors, you're not sick.
Yeah, you go.
That's exactly right.
You might be dead, but you won't be sick.
I believe in that wholeheartedly. So,
I see my doctor once a year.
yeah.
Once a year, religiously.
I haven't been to the
When I'm
doctor.
handing out candy at Halloween at my daughter's house. He lives in the
That's what
neighborhood.
you see.
That's when you see your doctor.
He comes up and goes, he puts his hand on my forehead and says, "How you feeling?" I said, "I'm fine, Doc." He says, "Okay, I'll see you in a year."
That's very funny. I haven't been to the doctors in 10 years. I'm fine.
Well,
course you are.
the physical kind of doctor is not the one you should be seeing. Okay.
That's what they tell me. Scott,
Starting to get a little bit of some kind of citrus.
I haven't had that yet.
Yes.
events.
Yes.
Speaking of Rocky.
Speaking of Rocky.
Yeah.
But that was a stretch. But okay.
Yeah. I
Yes,
said Rocky from the, what's the name?
What's in
The Edition Unica Honduran Puro.
Oh, yeah. You did, didn't you?
I did.
Yes,
Speaking of
there's
Rocky 10 minutes
in
ago.
Horsham, this Friday from 3 to 7, there is an event with Rocky Patel.
He will be here.
And Rocky,
Rocky
himself will
will
be
be
in
here.
attendance.
Yes.
Signing boxes.
Yes.
Oh, boy.
Absolutely.
We also have next Thursday, the 29th, we have Christoph in Downingtown. And then 3 events on Friday. We've got General in Phoenixville from 4 to 7. Oxford Valley has their movie night, which they're doing every month from 6 to 9. I don't know what the movie is yet. And then there's an event in Doylestown with Foundation from 4 to 8. So there you go. A lot of stuff coming up.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll get back to that so people have a chance to get a pencil and pen and write it down.
Just scan the code.
You can do that.
Just scan the QR code on the screen.
Oh. Piz does that now?
No.
Paul, do you have anything to say? Please.
Well, hold on. Let's go back to that for a second. I never understood the QR code on the TV. Like, oh, scan it. It's there for 5 seconds. Like I'm there with my phone.
And what do you do?
Waiting.
Run up to the television and hold
Yeah,
the phone
yeah,
It
against
takes me
it?
30
that's what they want
seconds
you
to
to
figure
do.
out how to turn my phone on.
It takes you longer to turn your phone on, get out of the chair, and walk over to it than it lasts on the screen.
Yeah, I never.
You just use your camera. Everybody on your front page of every phone has a shortcut to your camera. You don't even have to turn it on.
You just blew Scott's head up.
What?
What? Like on an iPhone, you just touch that.
He doesn't have an iPhone.
Yeah, but every phone has one.
Yeah, but I have a pass. I got to go through the password and.
You shouldn't have to do a password.
You know, they for a generation they've been selling us remotes for our televisions so that we don't have to get up and go over to the TV.
Now you got to get up.
Now
and
you
go.
got to get up and go over to the TV for a QR code.
Sons of.
It's just not important enough.
Click on that.
You can just pause it, you know.
What?
TV show.
Only if you're streaming, not if you're watching live.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
You
can.
can pause live?
Yeah.
Not live TV, but you can a TV show you can pause.
Yeah.
Nah, if it's
No, you
the
can,
new-
you can pause it, period.
You can, yeah, if you're
Doesn't
watching the
matter.
news and
Yeah, you can pause. Yeah, you can pause
You
it.
can pause it. Even a
I
live
thought
game
only
show.
like pre-recorded streaming stuff.
no sir.
If you're watching
I'm
a football
ignorant.
game, you can pause. You can pause.
Do you
it.
have a flat screen, Paul? Or you got a tube in your house?
It's a very, very big tube. It's about 5 feet deep from the. No, it's a flat screen TV.
It's a 13-inch black and white.
Yes.
Hey man, I was so excited when I got that.
I have a
When,
remote
when
that-
I took over the Freehold store, that's exactly what they had. A 13-inch black and
I
white
have a
on the
remote
counter.
that never wears out. I never have to replace the batteries or anything.
Children.
You're damn right. Go change the channel, kid.
So we were talking about this being a Honduran Puro. And I know just a few weeks ago we talked about the old history of Honduran tobacco. Just as a reminder, it goes all the way back to 1765 when the Spanish government gave the governor of Honduras control over the tobacco industry, the whole industry.
That was nice of him. Or her.
There are a few parts of Honduras that grow tobacco, and the tobaccos that come from those parts are very different in their character. Of course, the biggest part is in the province of Paraiso, El Paraiso. That's around Danlí, where all the factories are in Honduras, or most of them.
And it's one traffic light.
It is, as far as I know, it's still just one traffic light.
They talked about two, but they didn't think they had enough traffic for it.
They
And
didn't.
the
You can sit at
richest
that light
guy-
forever.
The richest guy in Danlí isn't even in the cigar industry. He owns a whole bunch of fried chicken restaurants all around Honduras. His name is Don Matute. And
Gus Fring.
What'd you say?
Gus Fring.
I don't get that.
Breaking Bad.
Oh, okay.
okay,
Is it called Dan Lee Fried Chicken?
Pollo Amigos or whatever on Breaking Bad. Mm-hmm. Pollo something, Hermanos maybe, Chicken Brothers, Pollo Hermanos.
Chicken Brothers.
I think that's what it's called on Breaking Bad.
What is it called in Honduras where the guy owns the chicken place?
Pollo Frito.
Wow.
I
Okay.
thought it was Dan Lee
Fried
Fried
chicken.
Chicken.
So there's that area. There's also probably the most productive area in Honduras, and that's, well, what do they call it? It's the Jamastran Valley, which is the valley of the Jamastran River, which runs right along the border between Honduras and Nicaragua. And in my experience, one of the most interesting things about that is there's tobacco on both sides of the river, right up to the river, and they taste completely different. You could grow the same breed of tobacco and you're maybe 500 yards away from the other side of the river, and they'll taste completely different. And it's the same river, it's the same water, it's largely the same soil, it just comes out different.
Yeah.
What?
Nothing.
Okay, so there's that area. Along that Jamastran Valley, much farther to the east, is a newer area called Trojes that was pioneered by
Danny.
by who?
He's talking about Danny Trio. Stop.
No, this is Trojes, not Trejo.
Okay.
It was largely pioneered by the Endemano family that owns Raíces Cubanos that makes some of the Alec Bradley stuff, although we don't know if they're going to make it anymore since now it's part of
General
Forged.
Forged, yeah.
Is Punch Forged or General? I can't
General.
remember. Is it? Okay. Not important.
Up in the north, there's a couple of Copan is a famous area where they grow a lot of tobacco, and there are a few factories up there. And there's a really interesting tobacco growing region in the center of Honduras. It's another valley. It's called the Talanga Valley, and you might have heard of that word Talanga in the past. I don't remember which brands, but there were a few that made a big deal out of the fact that they were Talanga Valley tobacco. And that tobacco is very different for a number of reasons. It's largely shade grown, but they don't put the shade above. They put the shades on the sides. And the result of that, it gets shade because the sun is at a low angle most of the time. But the reason they do it that way is it's extremely windy there. So they're using the shades as windbreaks to protect the plants from the wind.
Must
So
really stink.
Talanga Valley tobacco is just, it's a different animal. It's much sharper, it's brighter, it's way less earthy than typical Honduran tobacco. and it's really spicy. Almost more like Nicaraguan with that peppery up front character.
One of my top 5 cigars comes from Honduras.
Which one is
The
that?
Imperial?
National brand.
National
Imperial.
brand, yeah. I don't get that. They put it on the sides. How high does it have to be? Because it's not
It
blocking.
has to be very high.
I was going to say, because the stuff that's in the middle of the field isn't going to be, is going to get much more sun or
They
more
don't put it around
wind.
the whole field. They put it around it's like circles around groups of plants.
Okay.
And then another circle around another group of plants. And the shades are about 15 feet high.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes
lot
a
of
little
wind.
less.
Catch a lot of wind for that.
Yeah, you can. You could sail away. But if you think about the plants growing, even if the shades were shorter, most of the plant's life, it would be in the shadow of the shade. When it got tall enough to stick up above into the direct sun, then you'd have Lajero that would be nice and strong Lajero because that would get direct sun.
But don't,
So you could have sun-grown and shade-grown on the same plant with side
don't-
shading.
doesn't tobacco plants only get to be about 6 feet, 7 feet tall?
No.
No, depends. That
It
depends on the-
depends on the breed of tobacco, and it depends on where they're growing. They can get up to 12 feet quite comfortably.
Okay.
Although harvesting,
I was going to say, how do you harvest a 12-foot?
you go up on a stepladder when you're doing the
Very
last
carefully.
priming.
Stalk cut.
You could do stalk cut too, although there's not a lot of that being done.
That's
in
where
Honduras.
NBA players go to retire.
Honduras?
Well, no, they can, they're tall enough to.
Oh, so their side gig
Their side
is
gig, yeah.
harvesting high
That's what they
tobacco
do in the off
leaves.
season, yeah. It's on the back of their cards. Their basketball card.
If you have a plant that high, do you get more leaves or just bigger leaves and broader?
No, you get more. You get more primings out of it, but the lower ones, there'll be more of the lower ones that you don't have much use for.
Okay.
You know, the really low primings, what some people call dirt tobacco, because it's down in the dirt. So you get more of that,
Okay.
but you also get more of everything else.
Don't they prune those? Forcing the nutrients to
Well, they prune the flowers. When a tobacco plant forms a bud on top, about 90% of them they cut off. They can pull seed from that, but they don't want to let it flower completely because that sucks up all the nutrients that you'd rather have go to the leaves. And you might have heard of a kind of tobacco they call desflorado, which only means that it was deflowered. No, that sounds wrong. That sounds like a dirty joke.
It does.
Deflowering.
Yes.
But that's what it means.
You said deflowered.
They should write a song. Desflora.
Oh my God.
Come to your senses. Vroom.
So what else? We've been to the, not inside, but the factory at Honduras, the punch factory.
Oh, we drove past it, yeah.
Well, we walked past that too.
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh.
It was right across from Christian's place, right across from,
Yep.
it's like across the dirt road.
Oh. I mean, I remember seeing it. I don't remember walking past it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
My
on a horse or something.
My favorite thing in Honduras
Maybe.
is Nestor Plasencia's house. For those of you that don't know, Nestor Plasencia and the Plasencia family are the biggest and oldest commercial growers of tobacco in Honduras. They're actually the largest growers of cigar tobacco in the world. They grow more tobacco in various places than the whole island of Cuba. So Nestor Sr., who owns the company, has this beautiful house. It's a ranch house. It's in Jamastron. And he's on a hill with a beautiful view, but behind his house is a box factory and fermenting barns. So you hear sawmill noises all day long, and you smell fermenting tobacco and sawdust all day long while you're looking out at this phenomenal view. It's just a cool place.
Thank God he doesn't live behind the horse barn.
Well, that would smell good too. There's nothing wrong with that smell. Some cigars smell like that. And we
Sure.
like those generally.
Yeah, normally. All right, let's get our final thoughts and review and the number. Moose?
Well, I think they've come up with a good combination because this would go great with a beer.
Absolutely.
It would go great with a beer. No problem there. The flavors haven't changed for me. Although I did pick up some of the citrus that Scott had mentioned earlier. Kind of came and went for me. Mm-hmm. And I don't have that anymore. It's just pretty settled down to the black cherry and cinnamon. Although the cinnamon's backed off, it's not quite as bitey now. It's just flavorful. Very good cigar. Excellent. Giving it a 9.5.
Nice.
Wow.
Very nice. Paul?
I find that the flavors backed off a lot. It became a much more mellow cigar. It's the same set of flavors, and you're right, totally dominated by black cherry and cinnamon with a hint of earth. I really appreciate the intensity of the flavor and the mellowness of the overall smoke. I give it a 9.5 also.
Wow. Scott?
I agree with the flavors sort of became muddled. Like they're there, but it's before you could pick them out. Now it's like all one. I don't know. This for me, the smoke production sort of stopped. I mean, I was
Really?
fighting. I was
How could you
no,
say that? You can
no.
really-
I was fighting with it, and I think you see how dark.
Yeah.
I think it just.
There's a hard spot right there.
Yeah, and but I don't. I think it just started to burn down the middle, or through the center of the cigar. And I worked it a little bit, and the smoke production's back. But because of that, I was puffing a little bit harder, and I think I got the
You got
muddled
wind.
You should purge it
just blow out throat.
Yeah.
with a flame.
I don't know
No, you got to do it with a flame.
what the heck's what's the flame though.
Purging it. So go ahead. We don't have much time.
And when you purge, make sure you're doing it over the ashtray instead of the table. because
I'm
of
gonna-
the,
Because of that.
The first half of the cigar, I'm going to give a 9. The second half is an 8.75. It just stopped for me.
Okay.
I'm thinking it's this one cigar.
As for me, it did back off. The strength backed off. It was a little fuller body, but now I'd probably give it a 2.5 in the strength category. The retro hail is absolutely phenomenal in this cigar. It tastes incredibly good. I'm going to give it a 9.5 also. I think it's a really good cigar. Don't forget, Rocky Patel will be here in Horsham on the 24th.
Oh,
So
how much does this cigar cost? Do we even know?
it's $15, something like that. No, $13, somewhere around there. All right, we got to go.
Life's too short.
Yeah.
Smoke cheap cigars.
Smoke them if
Thanks
you
for
get
watching.
them.
Don't forget Rocky Patel in Horsham on the 24th.
Punch Cigar City. Check it out.
Ciao for now, everybody.